When you're in Salt Lake and you're surrounded by absolutely drop-dead gorgeous mountains full of snow, what's the one thing that you would do? Let's go somewhere flat. And my goodness, look at all those absolutely beautiful mountains out there covered with all that snow. But today's destination is not there. No, we are heading directly west today towards Reno, Nevada, but we're not going that far, as we're going to be heading south of the Salt Lake here and then making our way west towards one of the flattest areas in the United States known to mankind. An area so flat that the curvature of the earth can actually make the horizon disappear. An area so flat that people descend upon this place every single summer for the quest for speed. Yes, the need for speed. You see, today we're going to be heading for an area so special, so amazing, so much historical value to it that I just had to see it for myself. We are going to make our way out today to the Bonneville Salt Flats. And well, there it is. Welcome to the Bonneville Salt Flats. Or today for us, unfortunately, Bonneville Lake. Way too much water to be able to drive out on the flats today for right now. The sign they have here is actually not correct. Unfortunately, this sign was put up in 1972, and that claimed that the record being set in October of 1970 by Gary Gabelich at 622.407 miles an hour. That is wrong. Okay, let me stop and say, no, that is not wrong. I should have done a lot more research before I said what I thought I knew. Gary Gabelich's record set in October the 23rd, 1970 at 622.407 miles an hour is correct for here at Bonneville. However, there is a new land speed record that was not set here at Bonneville. It was set nearby in Nevada at the Black Rock Desert. That record is 763.035 miles an hour as set by Andy Green in 1997 driving the Thrust SSC. I should have done a lot better research and got my facts straight, so I wanted to set it all straight before we get to the part where I start saying things a little bit wrong. Now, Andy Green's record was the only one that ever actually officially broke the sound barrier. Now, there was speculation that Stan Barrett broke the sound barrier in 1979 at Edwards Air Force Base, but that could never be proven as the timing devices were not calibrated and they also were not official timing devices. Now, eyewitness accounts also stated that nobody ever actually heard the sonic boom, so that could never be proven that he broke the speed of sound. There is a new land speed record out here that was set in, I don't know, I'd have to look up all the facts, people, 1997-ish maybe, I don't know, but it's over 700 miles an hour out here, and the Thrust SSC, I believe, was the car that did it. Of course, jet powered, obviously, but it was actually the first and only car to ever break the sound barrier, I believe, out here. So, unfortunately, the sign is incorrect as far as the current record goes, but nonetheless, there it is, the Bonneville Salt Flats. And I actually am going to say I am so disappointed that there is so much water on it, because we were really looking forward to being able to drive across the Salt Flats some. But of course, we are here in a early spring time right now, and there's just too much water. But it is still beautiful nonetheless. It's a very unique thing to see, and I have always wanted to come here. I will make it a point to come here someday during Speed Week or whatever they call it is out here. But man, it's really cool. The water is just perfectly clear. I think you could probably almost walk on it. There's so much salt in it, but I'm not going to. But it's deceiving also. Once you look out across it, it's hard to tell where the horizons are just because of the reflection off the water, but it's beautiful. Of course, it's very unique. Way in the background, I'd have to zoom in some back there, but way in the background is still the mountain ranges. Still plenty of snow out there on them. The reflections are so cool off the mountains. That's pretty awesome. But anyway, there it is. Welcome to the Bonneville Salt Flats. On our way here back down the freeway, actually it was completely dry. You could just see for, I don't know how far it goes, but I mean, you could just see for forever out there, and it was totally dry. But unfortunately, the only access to get back to there is through there, and well, that's not going to happen today. So, but nonetheless, I can check it off that I have been to the Bonneville Salt Flats, aka Bonneville Lake, today. And it really, truly is an amazing sight to see. It's about roughly about a 2-hour drive out of Salt Lake. We're just heading straight west. If we just keep going, we'll run into Reno, which we're not going to go there. Reno is still well over 400 miles further, and not going to happen either. But this is a really cool rest area. It's right here. This is Bonneville State Park, technically speaking. This is the bench point for Bonneville State Park. Really nice rest area here. We pulled in here and enjoy the views. So we're gonna head on up the freeway though. There's a little town on up the road that we're gonna pull off on and do some sightseeing around there. And there actually is a road that, let me see if I can remember this correctly. Mike told me about it last night. Mike, zmotorsports. You can actually go up here and there's a road that you can hook off on, and it will actually follow. You can follow all the way back, way around. It follows, man, I can't remember what all he told me about it, but anyway, it follows all the mountains and the, I think it's an old railroad system that used to go across there, which is actually, I think he said it dead ends into where they have like the Golden Spike now, where the two railroads met each other, the Transcontinental Railroad, that's what it was. But he said that this time of the year, it's pretty much impassable just because of the water and the snow, and it gets real slushy out there, and he says it can turn into disasters real quick. So probably would not recommend doing that this time of the year. But nonetheless, we're gonna have to miss that out too. Lots of snow this year. Kind of unusually high snow, especially this far out here, but it's still everywhere, all over the tops of the mountains. Now there's not near the snow here that there is in Salt Lake though, for sure, but absolutely stunningly beautiful, guys. So, from us to you, here out at the Bonneville Salt Flats, it's worth the drive to say that you've seen it. Okay, so we just jumped back on the freeway. We took the very next exit. There's a sign that says Bonneville Speedway. We're actually drove down here to the road. This is the actual entrance to the Bonneville Speedway. Of course, it's barricaded off because of, obviously, lake bed conditions. It really is a lake today. But of course, by the time the event rolls around, all this water is gone, and kind of right out that direction going, well, let's zoom in here a little bit so we can kind of get it out there. So basically, right out that direction, going that way, all the way down to where you see where it looks like there's nothing, which it's so far out there you can't see the horizon anymore, is the actual speedway itself. I believe it is 10 miles long, if I remember correctly. And they say that due to the natural curvature of the earth, it is physically impossible to see the whole entire course. So once the racers start down the course, they will actually disappear over the horizon before they get to the end of it. And your average has to be run both directions within 1 hour. So you have to run down the track, and within 1 hour you have to run up the track, and then your timed average between those two is your speed, which, like I say, is currently set as over 700 miles an hour. They actually broke the sound barrier out here, the Thrust SSC did, and that current record still holds. Actually, believe it or not, though, the water is just crystal clear. I mean, you can see the bottom all out there, and it's very, very hard. It's really not that you couldn't drive through it, but you're literally driving through some of the saltiest water you would ever drive through, and, well, your car would probably fall apart before you made it the 7 miles back to the highway. Yep, 7 miles. It's a long ways in here, but stunningly beautiful. I'm adding this to my list now. I've got to come back and see this event also. But anyway, nevertheless, there it is, Bonneville Salt Flats, aka Bonneville Lake today. They do have a sign down there that says, obviously, road closed due to current conditions. And it is what it is. So I tried. We knew we wouldn't be able to drive on the Salt Flats. There's just, like I say, there's just way too much snow this year, way too much rain. We are in a bowl out here, and, well, unfortunately, everything runs downhill. But there it is, Bonneville Salt Flats. So till next time, we're going to take our little 65-mile-an-hour death trap here right back out of here. No land speed records today being set by this thing. Next time on A Long, Long Way to Go. Hey guys, welcome to the Silver Island Mountains Backcountry Byway. But today's destination for us is going to be way up there. That's to the top of the volcano.